Hey everyone, this is Molly Schooneman, your Assistant Director of Fraternity and Sorority Life. I've had a lot of questions about how does Engage work. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of the main things that you're doing in order to help you better use this platform. So the very first thing you're going to do is go to this link right here, cmish.campuslabs.com/engage. As soon as you get there, this is what your page is going to look like. Go ahead and click Sign In. When you sign in, you're going to be prompted to enter your global ID. So then after that, this is what your main page is going to look like. Up here are going to be different announcements. Like you can see here, re-registration is live now, as well as main stage registration is open. Also, if you scroll down here, this is where all of your memberships are going to be. So let's say you're in Sigma Pi. Your Sigma Pi thing will be here. Let's say you're also in a business fraternity, maybe Alpha Kappa Psi will be here. So everything that you're involved in will be here, everything that you have membership in. You should also have membership in the Fraternity and Sorority Life info group, Fraternity and Sorority Life in general. So yeah, that's that. Or if you're also a part of various councils, you should also be a part of those groups. Then scrolling down here is going to be every single event that is on campus in chronological order. So you can see all the events by clicking on this button right here. So for example, the next big thing coming up is July 25th, the Business Student Services meeting. And these are just some campus links that will bring you to various campus resources. But we are going to work within a group. So again, you're going to want to click on the group that you want to work within. So like you would click on Alpha Chi Omega, or you would click on Sigma Pi or Phi Delta Theta, whatever group you click on, this is what we're going to work in. However, I'm going to click on the National Panhellenic Council to show you exactly how to navigate certain things. So when you click on your membership, this is the page you're going to see. This is the home page for your group. So over here, you're going to have a description. You can edit that to whatever you would like. I think what I'm going to do is give you guys a suggested format so that we can make our home pages look super sharp. You'll also have pictures that you can upload, any forms, events, and a list of your officers, and then any documents that you have. So in order to manage the behind the scenes of your organization, you're going to click on Manage Organization. So then you're going to come to here. If you haven't re-registered your organization, this will pop up, and so you just click on that and fill out all of the forms again. It's super easy. But for your main navigation, you're going to click on this right over here, this I call it a hamburger, a menu, because it kind of looks like a hamburger. So you click on that, and up pops this menu. So we have roster, about, events, news, gallery, documents, forms, elections, and service hours. So first we're going to talk about roster, so you can go ahead and click on that. So this is the page where you're going to manage your roster. This is where you can manage your primary contact. So let's say the primary contact isn't Alana Johnson anymore. You can click on this pencil right up here in the corner to edit whomever that primary contact is. Please note that on the public facing side of your page, this is the contact information that will be there, so people who are interested in your group will contact this primary contact. Below here is your roster. So this should be, and I'm going to work with your grad students to do this, this is where you're going to have a very accurate roster. If, let's say, Aaron McGavin is no longer in your organization, you can click that checkbox right there and then select End Membership. The other thing you can do is go over here to this pencil. This pencil is connected to the Positions tab. So let's say Aaron McGavin is president now and not Alana Johnson. So what you would do is you would click the pencil and then select Aaron McGavin as president. And then you would go over here and deselect Alana Johnson as president, but I'm going to keep her because she is president of NPHC. So there's that. Now you're probably wondering, how did I get that menu of positions? So here is where you can manage your positions. So this is going to be a record of every single position you have ever made. You can manage the status of this. So let's say you don't use a VP of administration anymore, so you just click on that. And then if you can check this, you can check this if you don't want that position to be active anymore. That means in that roster side where you can manage positions, that being a VP of administration won't be an option. So then how you create a position is you go here, you click on this position box, and then you put the name. So let's say we're adding a VP of intake for NPHC. So I would say Vice President of Intake. The position type will be an officer. So here you can select whatever it is. So let's say, for example, you call your president something other than president. So I know some organizations call them archons or pole marks or something. So you could say Grand Archon. So just for our records on the administrative side, you're going to mark that as president. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So then you want to select this, show holders of this position on your organization's roster, so you can kind of see who's holding that position at that time. So you want to select that. And then next you can select what kind of access you want them to have. So a president should probably have all access. So this means that they get access to everything and can edit and manage any document or any form or any event on your site. This limited access is going to be where you can select what sort of things that you want an officer to be in charge of. So let's say you have your treasurer on there. Maybe your treasurer doesn't need access to make events or messaging or news or photos or anything like that. You just want them to have finance access. So you would go full finance access and you'd leave the rest of them none. And then you say create. And then I just said cancel because we don't need that. You would say create and then you would go back here. And then you would assign this new position. I hope all that makes sense. I know I didn't actually create a new position, but I hope the example kind of makes sense. So that's roster in a nutshell. You can also invite people here by clicking this blue button. And what you would do is you can follow the directions. You can enter up to 500 email addresses. Please use their school associated email address, so their CMISH email, because then that will directly link to their Engage profile so that they can have your organization listed on their membership list. So please use their CMISH email. So then you can invite them by like copying and pasting a mass amount of emails here, or you can handwrite them in. So they would kind of look like this, like that. So you would go line by line and list the emails like that. And then all you say is add email addresses. And then your members will automatically get an email sent to their email saying that they've had an Engage invitation to your group on Engage. Cool. So that's roster in a nutshell. The next will be really quick. It's your About page. So this is what the public sees, no matter who they are. So they can be internal Engage users with Central Michigan, or they can be Joe Schmo who wants to look up what kind of organizations Central Michigan has. So here you will do your description. You can also change your profile picture, like let's say you want to put your crest instead of like a picture of people or whatever you want to use. So you write your description here. Then you have contact information. This is where you could potentially put your, if you're have a facility, you could put your facility address up here. Any external websites you have, as well as your social media. I think this is super important to add, especially since the new students coming into school, the Generation Z, they're very social media focused. So anything you can put up here would be awesome. And then you say update, and it appears on your page. Okay, the next one is the one you all have been asking about, events. So this will look almost exactly like how to plan an event and how to secure space through OrgSync. So all you do is you click on that events page and it'll bring you to here. Then you go to create event, and then you're going to fill out everything on here. So I'm going to take you through a sample event. So I want to put on CPC recruitment. So I'm going to say CPC recruitment. I'm going to say maybe a CPC recruitment info meeting. So that's what I'm calling it. My theme, it's going to be social because we are social organizations. However, if you're putting on a philanthropy event, you could mark service. If it was like an educational event, like maybe you were hosting an anti-hazing lecture or something like that, you could put learning. This is basically just for people to look up. Like if someone wanted to go to a service event that week, they would search service event on Engage and your event would come up. It's a great way to help you market your event. So social. So then I'll say this is a meeting for potential new members of CPC. So that's my description. Here you can tag, add any additional organizations. So I might write the Pan-Hellenic Council on here. And that'll come up as well. So that'll get tagged. And maybe if I wanted to, I could add all of the sororities on here as well so that they'd be co-hosting, but I'm not going to go through and do all of those. So then let's say I wanted this, so it has to be still 10 days in advance. So let's say I want this event to be at the end of August during the first week of school. I want it at noon at the lunch hour, and then I'm going to have it end at 1 p.m. I can also add a location. So here, this is where I want it to be in the university, or the Bovie University Center. So this is actually a really cool feature. So what it will do is on the event itself, on the public side, it will pop up like an address. So I'm trying to think of an address. If I wanted to have it at the Teak House, I would go 910 Main Street. Okay, it should have popped up, but what will happen is it'll connect to Google Maps, which is really cool. So someone can put it up onto their phone and then click the location link, and it'll pull up on their Google Maps so that they can more easily get to your event. Oh, that's location name. House, and then I would do 910 Main Street. Sorry if that's not the exact Teak address. And then I go Mount Pleasant. See how it's kind of popping up here? That's so cool. And then I go save. I could also show this to the public, or let's say this is just internal to your group. You could do invited users only, members of all hosting organizations, student staff at Central Michigan, but this is the public. So this is probably what you want to do if you have a philanthropy event and you want to invite outside people. But if it's just CMU students, then you can click on this one. These you can add to it. So let's say it's a service event and you want your members to get credit for being at this event. So what a co-curricular transcript is, it keeps track of everything that your members have all done. and then it'll get verified and you can print it out, and then they can give that to their future employer or have it be evidence that they, yes, in fact, participated in X amount of service events or like participated in X amount of different events, or they went to a alcohol awareness event or something like that. If they want proof for that, then you can click that box. If not, not a big deal. And you can check this box if you want anyone to self-report attendance. I don't think you might not want to do that, because what you'll want to do is swipe in so that people can get credit. So these next two are just really cool things to help people search for your event. So select categories. So this is a public event, or you can do training. If it's an off-campus event, on-campus speaker, you can select many of these categories. So this is a public event. And select perks. So there's a feature for people to search on the public-facing side. So you can select perks. So let's say it's this event and I'm having free food there. So I'd click free food. So someone can search free food events happening this week, and your event will pop up. So again, it's just more of a way for you to market yourself. And then CMU Gold Path. Most likely your thing is not going to be a CMU Gold Path. You can click on this link to figure out whether or not it is, and then select yes or no. Mine's not going to be. And then this, if you answered yes to the question above, you can respond. So here I answered no, so I'm just going to put NA. And then you go next. So who can RSVP to this particular event? Since it's a CPC recruitment awareness event, I want anyone to be able to come to that. Or again, if it's just your chapter event, like if it's your chapter meeting on campus, you can say only invitees. So that would be anyone in your group. If you have limited number of spots at your event, like let's say it's a dinner or something and you only have a limited amount of spots, you can limit the number of spots and then say how many people. You can show how many spots are remaining to the public. So that's like if you have one spot left, it'll show it on your public-facing event. And then if you allow guests, you can also say limiting number of guests per RSVP. So then when they RSVP, they have to give the name of that person and whether, so that you can kind of keep track of who's coming to your event. This next one is custom questions. So let's say you want, again, maybe let's go with the dinner concept. If you want to make note of a dietary restriction of someone, you can add a question and you can be like, list any dietary needs, and then select the question. It's single line, or you can do multi-line if you expect someone to have many dietary needs or many needs in general, and then you just say add question. So then add your text and question. List any dietary needs. So and then you can require this question as well, add a question description, whatever you'd like to do. And click next. So this I also highly recommend doing. It's adding a photo to your event. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this picture because this is what I have on file. But you can add a photo to your event and it helps make it a lot more attractive. It looks like my picture is not very, oh, there we go. We're going to go with that. Crop image. Okay, that looks fine for right now for this example, and then we'll move on. As an administrator. So this is then just reviewing what you have, and then you submit, and then it moves on to plan, to the next process, and they will then contact you or let you know what is available or what isn't available as far as your location request, and then they will get back to you. So that is the basics of how you do that. I'm not going to submit this because it's not a real event, but that is the basis of the event submission. I think it's pretty intuitive, but if you have any questions, please let me know. So I want to get out of this, so I'm going to go to the next feature. So I go over here. So this news category is basically just if you want to create an article about how you did super awesome raising a ton of money for your philanthropy event, or how you all went to a really cool retreat, or anything like that. And then what will happen is it'll pop up on like the main page. It'll be a news item, which that's really cool promo for your organization. And next, gallery. This is then, like I showed you that very first page, and it's our public facing page. That's where your pictures will rotate. So you can upload really anything here that you want. Next thing is documents. So this is where you can store e-board information, meeting minutes, your constitution, anything like that. You can add a file, or if you want to add a folder with, let's say you want to have just a big folder for your constitutions, the constitution of every single year. So you say like Sigma Pi constitutions. And then once you're in that folder, you can add a file. And then you do like 2014 constitution, 2015 constitution, all the way up to 2019 constitution. So that's just an example of how you would use a file in a file folder. Next is forms. So this is another one that you guys will probably use a lot. So again, it's just like you create a form and it's whatever you want people to fill out. This is pretty much exactly like OrgSync, except you can no, that's the same thing as OrgSync, yeah. You can add whatever you want, allow multiple submissions here, allow anonymous submissions, which is super awesome, like if you're trying to take a poll for something. The next thing is elections. So this is really cool if you are voting on something, whether it be, oh gosh, where to go to formal, or if you wanted to take your elections onto Engage. So I kind of made a sample one here for Vice President of Operations. So this is what it looks like on this side. So you okay, what you name the election, any additional instructions, the time the election starts to the time it finishes, and then you save, and then it's created. When you click on this, it'll allow you to, if you wanted to send it out in your GroupMe message, you just copy and paste this one, or people can access it through being a member of your group on Engage. It'll pop up on their main page. And then the service hours one, this is where I highly recommend keeping track of your service hours on this. And you can, whoever has administrative access to whoever you want that to be, that's how going on to roster and managing those permissions on someone's officer permissions. That's where you can have someone be able to approve or disapprove service hours. So it's a great way to have your members keep track of what they've done. So that's the basis of Engage. It's super intuitive if you just play around, but I highly encourage you, email me if you have any questions. I'm still learning this form myself, so if you have a complicated question, let me know. We'll definitely get it figured out for you, but I really do think that Engage is going to be really good for our community. So we can have an in-person training if you want or whatever, but yeah, that's basically it. And I hope this video was kind of helpful.